So whenever a new dub season occurs, of course we get a new theme song. And the new one, Pokemon World, while not as good as the original to me, is still a catchy tune, and I sing it every time it came on. After returning to Pallet Town and enjoying a party, Professor Oak asks Ash, Misty, and Brock if they can go to the Orange Islands and visit Professor Ivy to retrieve a mysterious Pokeball she has come in possession of. And he can only ask them because Gary has apparently gone off on another journey already. Also, Ash's Pidgeotto evolves into Pidgeot, and he releases it so he can protect a flock of Pidgey. I would have kept it. In a scare in the air, the group get on a blimp ride to the islands, but of course it's a trick by Team Rocket. But they beat them and manage to make it to Valencia Island and meet Ivy.
Pokeball Barrel!
So after meeting one of the sexier professors, Professor Ivy, Ash obtains the GS Ball, a special Pokeball that won't open for any reason. Also, sadly, yes, we have to pour one out for the homie Brock. He's fine, but he decides to stay with Professor Ivy as he thinks he can learn more as a breeder at the lab, and Ivy and her assistant's living habits are not great, so he thinks they need him more than Ash does. It is unfortunate, but if you've seen future seasons, you know he will return, and while I will miss him, maybe seeing just Misty and Ash together could be a fun dynamic, like, the first couple episodes. It'll be interesting to see. Hopefully they don't ruin it by introducing some third guy.
The Lost Lapras!
So after another Team Rocket scheme on their way back to Pallet, Ash and Misty crash land on another island from a blimp, and find a Lapras being bullied by some jobbers, and after chasing them away, Ash catches the Lapras so he can find its herd again. During all this, Ash notices a sign for the Orange League, similar concept with the Indigo League, but this one you have to get 4 badges from gym leaders, after which you challenge the Supreme Leader, and you win. So Ash asks Oak if it's okay if he competes in the league before returning, which Oak agrees to. And that's all that happens in this episode, nothing else. Oh right, Ash and Misty also meet Tracy, a Pokemon artist who wants to draw every Pokemon, and also a huge Oak fan. He joins them on their journey. Yay. Look, I don't dislike Tracy, he's not a bad character. Problem is, especially when compared to Brock, he's just so boring. Like, I don't get why he's here anyway, and the fact he is included in the season that is meant to waste time until the real second season makes him very forgettable to me. His only legacy is that his voice actor became the announcer for Pokemon Stadium, which was one of the greatest voice roles any man could ever have.
Fit to be tied!
Already we get the first Orange Gym, which are a bit different. Instead of just battles, they test you with different activities trainers and their Pokemon participate in. Like this one, where they compete and break the targets. And a race, which I do like. It's nice to have something different than just Pokemon battles. But look, after this episode, I'm going to speedrun this season now. I'll point out any interesting things if they do happen or moments. But look, I want to move to Johto fast, and trust me, this season does not matter all that much. In Pikachu Revolts, Cassidy and Botch...
the name is Butch.
Whatever. Return and use a Drowsy hooked up to a machine to cause all the Pokemon around to become violent. At least Jesse and James get a dub in this one. In the Crystal Onyx, the gang go find a Crystal Onyx. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, the Orange Islands is kind of an Alola prototype, if you think about it, because it's a series of islands with 4 to 5 leaders that have challenges to prove your trainer's skills, and as we see in this episode, they have some type of regional variants of Pokemon, though in the Orange Islands, the variant is usually a color, so not as cool as the future kind. In the Pink, the gang arrive at an island where all the Pokemon are pink. That's all that's special about them. God, shiny hunters would have a field day on the Orange Islands. In Shell Shock, the gang go with a news crew to some island to find out the secret of Kabuto. The best part about this episode is the narrator at the beginning sums up the season perfectly.
Sunny skies, balmy breezes, and our heroes drifting towards some tropical adventure.
Yeah, that's pretty much every episode. In Stage Fight, the gang help an actress connect with her Raichu. Wow, that was the only note I wrote about this one. In Bye Bye Psyduck, Misty meets another water trainer, and during a battle, she thinks her Psyduck evolved into a Golduck. But it turns out to be a wild Golduck who just wanted to battle, and our boy is safe. In The Joy of Pokemon, the group meet one of the busiest, tanniest Nurse Joys around. God, imagine if Brock met her. I miss Brock. In Naval Maneuvers, Ash gets his second Orange League badge. That's all.
Snack attack!
Okay, so this one actually matters, as this is the episode where Ash catches his Snorlax. What, you expected more to happen in this episode? Welcome to the Orange Islands. In a ship full of shivers, the gang chase after Team Rocket, who have stolen an old Orange League trophy, and they discover a ghost ship, which is not that weird in the Pokemon universe if you think about it. In Meowth Rules, Meowth is mistaken for a legendary Meowth that will grant the islanders a great bounty. I actually kind of like this one. It wasn't really that much funnier or interesting or anything, but I don't know, I'm kind of liking the Team Rocket episodes a lot more lately. They're really starting to warm up to me. And Tracy gets bugged. Tracy catches a Scyther. Such a cool Pokemon wasted on such a nothing character. That's right, we are here, the first big milestone of any TV series, episode 100. What did they do for this monumental episode? Absolutely nothing. Seriously, the episode is nothing. Man, can you believe it? It's 100 episodes. We're barely 10% of the way done. Oh my god. In the Mandarin Island mismatch, Ash meets Lorelei of the Elite Four, and she is very different from the games. Here she's kind of a weirdo. Still hot though. And Wherever Art Thou Pokemon, it's Romeo and Juliet, but with 2 Nidoran. So again, going back to different episode count stuff, if you go based off of certain other sites like Bulbapedia, Wikipedia, maybe even the official Pokemon site, this episode is the one that's counted as the 100th episode of Pokemon. Either way, whichever one you count, it seems like they're both just nothing. And get along, little Pokemon, the group tried to corral some Magnemite to help a city having a blackout. That was an awful accent. In the Mysterious Menace, they fight some mysterious monster living in a town's sewers. It's just a giant Bulbasaur. In Misty Meets Her Match, the gang arrive at the 3rd gym, and after saving his younger sister, the leader of the gym falls for Misty. None of that matters though, because they leave after Ash gets his badge.
Bound for trouble!
Okay, while I hate on it, not every episode in the Orange Island sucks. I mean, they're mostly just okay to whatever, in my opinion. This one, however, I think is pretty good. Thanks to another Team Rocket scheme, Meowth and Pikachu end up stuck together and whisked away, and now have to work together to make it back to their friends. Yeah, there's not much else to it. I just think it's a fun episode. Watching Meowth and Pikachu bounce off of each other can be pretty funny.
But I don't see why I don't get to decide where we go. Oh, okay, you decide. I'll go wherever you want to go. Just don't shock me.
Charizard, chills!
Okay, so this one also matters, as after fighting against a tough trainer in his Poliwrath, Ash and his Charizard come to a better understanding, and Charizard actually listens to Ash now. Sucks they put in such a milestone episode in this season. In the Pokemon Water War, remember the Squirtle Squad? Well, meet Team War Turtle. They are not as cool. In Pokemon Food Fight, Snorlax's Pokeball breaks, so the kids have to find some way to get Snorlax to the next Pokemon Center to get it fixed. I don't know why one person can't just go there, get the Pokeball fixed, and then come back, since Snorlax is probably just going to sit there and sleep anyway, but I'm sure they explained it, and I just wasn't paying attention. In Pokemon Double Trouble, we get our first double battle a whole generation sooner than you might have thought, when Ash fights the final Orange League gym leader. And he wins, of course. In the Wacky Watcher, oh never mind, it's a Tracy episode, I don't care. In the Stunspore Detour, Ash and Tracy are affected by a Vileplume Stunspore, so Misty has to go find a special plant to heal them. And it makes me realize we really don't get a lot of Misty episodes, if you think about it, or episodes about Brock, as a matter of fact. It's usually about some Pokemon or some character of the day, you know? The actual main characters don't really get much. In fact, most episodes that do feature Misty are usually her fighting with Jessie over some petty shit. Like, she's getting the spotlight sometimes, I guess. And this was a pretty good one, but I don't know, yeah, maybe they should have episodes focus on the main characters more. And Hello Pumelo, Ash starts his battle with the supreme leader of the Orange League, and even uses one of his Tauros, which if you just watch the dub, you have no idea where that came from. Then in Enter the Dragonite, Ash succeeds and manages to technically win his first league. Come on, it's called a league, it should count. In Viva Las Lapras, Ash finally manages to reunite his Lapras with the herd it was separated from, as the two bid a tearful goodbye. One of the better Ash releases of Pokemon episodes, mostly because, well, we saw Lapras every single episode of the Orange Islands as it took them from island to island, so yeah, this one I was actually kind of sad about. R.I.P. In the Underground Roundup, Voltorb stuff happens with Togepi. Look, we got 2 episodes left and we're almost done this season. Just let me get through it, okay? I want to be free of this.
A tense situation!
After arriving back in Pallet Town, we see Brock. Oh, thank God, I missed you so much. Yeah, he left Ivy due to circumstances that are funnier, the fact that we don't know, and Ash's mom just found him on the street and took him home, which is pretty funny. See why I like this guy? Everything he does is stupid, I love it. And they all also meet up with Gary again, who after so long finally agrees to have a full battle with Ash.
The Rivalry Revival!
And now in the finale of the Orange Islands, Ash and Gary battle, and Ash loses, but unlike before, the two seem to have more respect for each other now. Later, Oak tries to examine the GS ball, but is also unsuccessful in opening it. That's when Ash hears that Gary has gone off on another adventure to the Johto region, and he decides to head there too after finding out about the Johto League. And it just so happens that Oak gives Ash the GS ball again to take to Kurt, a man known for designing Pokeballs who lives in Azalea Town in the Johto region. So Ash, along with Misty and Brock, head to Johto as Tracy stays in Pallet to become an assistant to Professor Oak. Thank God, I mean, good for him. And so, that was the Orange Islands. It's not bad, just the episodes were uneventful. Like, they really felt like the most basic, unoriginal ideas for episodes, which, to be fair, it was meant to be a time waster until Johto, so I guess it served its purpose. And look, Tracy's fine, I don't mind him, he's just kind of boring, and it makes me wonder why they added him in the first place, and why they had Brock leave since he comes back later anyway, and now he's just here to stay for like the next 3 or 4 seasons. Like, what was even the point? And again, the season wasn't all bad. I did like some stuff, like I like the unique gym challenges and seeing the different islands, but it just wasn't enough to keep me entirely entertained. But let's shift gears now, though, as we are entering a whole new world with the official start of Generation 2.